Welcome everyone to our first Grief and Joy, What Nobody Tells You series. Today we are going to be talking about what nobody tells you about retirement. I'm Mindy Seifert, the founder of Grief and Joy, and I have a very special friend here with me today. This is Ellen Teller. So Ellen, hello, thank you for joining. Super excited to have you here in the Barn Studio. And obviously we're still in progress around here, so things will evolve. Maybe next time we'll have some comfy chairs.
That'd be great.
Awesome. Ellen, tell me a little bit about you and your retirement.
Yes, so I have been retired for 1 month.
Okay.
30 days. So you and I have known each other a long time, as you know. Worked together in a previous lifetime.
Yes. In fact, in many places.
In many places.
Yeah. I thought about that as we were preparing for this. So yeah. In fact, Ellen, how we met was you recruited me to a company.
I did. Yes. And in one of the chapters of my career, I was a recruiter and did talent acquisition, and you were one of my hires.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
So glad that
the job didn't work out for either of us long term, but we've been friends for a long time, so that's good.
Yes. And then we actually were in business together at one point.
Sure.
And then strangely we worked at Collins at the same time.
Yep.
So really three different times.
Mm-hmm.
3 times. And we're still friends.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's awesome. All right. So any other highlights from your career that you want to hit on before we start?
I guess it will become relevant later in the conversation maybe, but after I did leave talent acquisition at a point because I really found myself wanting to help the person on the other side of the phone call or on the other side of the desk during an interview, and just thought that I would rather help them than the organization that I was representing. So I knew it was time to probably move on to a different chapter. And I did a couple different things trying to figure out what that looked like, and then ended up in higher education at a small liberal arts college, and working with students and helping them figure out what their career should look like, and hopefully giving them some advice and help to try and achieve that.
Okay. And you said you've been retired for a month.
1 month.
Okay. So how did you make the decision?
How did I make the decision? The decision was made when the financial advisor said, "You can retire anytime." And I said, "Anytime?" And he said,
"Today?"
"Yeah." He said, "You can retire anytime."
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay." So I had planned on working probably another year at that point. We had some ideas of when we wanted to retire and had hoped we could do it. But then when he said those words, I made my husband write it down on a piece of paper so that he confirmed that he heard them as well. And then I thought about it for maybe 12 hours and decided that why wouldn't I? So, yeah.
I appreciate the length of time.
Yep, 12 hours. I think I thought about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that was during sleep. So I should mention that as well.
Yes, that's fair. I do appreciate your ability to make decisions. That is one thing I love about you, and this was no different than most of them. So leading up to that, so you made your decision, then you gave your notice.
I did. I told my boss, not the next day, but the day after.
Okay.
The joke always was with him was when I would go in his office and close the door, he would say, "You're not quitting, are you?" And so I went in his office and I said, "You don't say that to me anymore." And he's like, "Are you quitting?" I said, "I am." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "I'm retiring." He's like, "That's amazing." So yeah, it was kind of funny way of doing it. But,
absolutely, yes. And then you had 2 weeks or so.
No, I was there a couple months.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave notice really early because I was retiring and I planned on finishing out the semester. And so commencement was beginning of May, and that was when I finished. So yeah, I gave about 2 months.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember you saying something to me during that 2-month period. One of my favorite things you said it was a bit of a mind fuck as you were approaching that day. And
Yeah.
so explain that more.
Well, I think it's because you work every day for month on month, for year on year, and you're just always going to do that. And then all of a sudden, I'm not going to do that anymore. And it's weird that you're now no longer planning for the next semester for school and the future work that's coming. I mean, it was like, oh, you don't need to be in this meeting. We're going to talk about this and things like that. So it was just all of a sudden you're like, this isn't something I have to worry about anymore. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then, when you were actually getting to the point of retirement, did it feel like a celebration? Did it feel like you were losing something, or a little bit of both?
I would say 99% celebration for me, because I was ready to go. The 1% that I was concerned about and was really considering, I guess maybe 2%, was losing one of my social outlets, because I really did enjoy some of the people I worked with and spent a lot of time with them. So I was a little like, ooh, I'm losing that, now what? And then the other 1% was that I got a great deal of purpose out of my work. And I was like, ooh, I'm losing that now. How is that going to feel? And am I going to feel like I'm not contributing anymore to the world? So I think it was those two small things. But I quickly thought, you know what, if losing my work friends, who are really friends, not work friends, if they're friends, you're going to see them anyway. And you and I were a good example, right? We worked together 3 different times, and we've stayed friends for years and years. So I quickly came to the conclusion that I wasn't concerned about that. And then as far as purpose was concerned, I quickly decided that I could contribute in another way and make a difference in another way.
So let's talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit, because I think you, at least prior to retirement, had some visions
Yep.
about what that might be. And so share that, and then...
Yeah, I think, I definitely want to do some volunteer work. I made the decision that I was not going to do anything this summer. I wasn't going to add anything to my plate or my calendar, which has nothing, and I like it that way. I'll wait until fall, probably, and for good reason. I think the summer feels different to me because during my work in higher ed, it was a quiet time anyway. Students weren't there. It was quiet, so it was a different time. In the fall is when our year ramped up and we were very busy, and I was back in it. And I think waiting until fall and adding that in at that time, I think it makes sense.
Yep.
Because I might feel a little different in the fall. I might be like, oh, this is weird now. I kind of wish I was back in the grind. So maybe I won't feel that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely doing some volunteer work. I want to find something that I'm passionate about, something that I feel like I can make a difference. I had one friend tell me, do not join any boards.
Valid.
And I thought that was a really good point.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think I can go big.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really good point. So I think I can do it in a lot of different ways. I haven't decided what that is exactly, but I'm looking at a couple different options.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the social interaction
Yeah.
that you found very valuable from your previous career. Do you have, besides the volunteering, do you have ideas there?
Other than just keeping in touch with friends and doing things like this and having dinner and, I've scheduled one lunch a week, and I've actually had some lunches with people that I hadn't seen in a while, so that's been really fun to kind of, engage with those people. So, no, not really. Just, again, there's a couple things I'm thinking of, but nothing concrete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that has surprised you about this first month?
I think I would actually back up. I think the one thing that surprised me the most was when I started telling people that I was retiring. It was people's reactions.
Interesting.
It was
Okay.
super weird. I just assumed that people would just be happy.
Okay. Yeah, so
And that wasn't what I mean, of course, there were some people that were happy and were like, oh my God, that's amazing, that's great. And there were obviously those, but I was not prepared for the other side
Okay.
of people saying, so just, I think it makes them evaluate their own life and think about, oh, I'm not there yet, or I wish I was there yet, or, so there was just lots of things like, what are you going to do? I mean, I wonder how many times I've heard that. I mean, just over and over again. What are you going to do?
And I find that interesting also because I'm not a person that feels like when I'm retired that I will not have anything
Right.
to do.
I think you can do as much or as little as you want.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's one size fits all. Everybody is totally different. So it's just, that was just so strange to me that, I mean, I had lots of people say that. What will you do? What will you do? And it was like, I don't know, what are you going to do? I mean, my answers were all over the place depending on my mood. Sometimes I was like, not anything but spending it here, depending on, or, whatever I want, or, I mean, it was just so strange. That was just a lot of that. There was a lot of, I'm really jealous. Like, that was the first thing they said, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
cheers. I mean, how do you respond to that?
Yeah.
When someone says, I'm so jealous?
I think they're probably trying to be complimentary and congratulatory, but it comes
Strange.
across.
It's
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my favorite was somebody that said, did you win the lottery?
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. So that was a little bit like, oh, apparently you don't think I've had a career, saved money, I don't know.
Yeah, been working towards this my whole life.
That's exactly what I said was, no, but I have been saving for this since I was 21. So there's that.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, weird. So weird. And then some people that like literally, after I told them, they never spoke to me again. Never spoke to me again.
Okay, this is fascinating. This is fascinating for me today because, as we talk about life transitions as a whole, people struggle with sometimes knowing the right words to
Yes.
say, and
That's not it, just so you know.
and
People, just say to people, congratulations, I'm really happy for you. That's all. Whether you mean it or not.
Yeah, and so like
How weird is that?
It's bringing me back to even like after Todd passed away, when
Yes.
I would go into work.
Yeah, oh, they would give you the look.
And people would either not make eye contact with me or literally, sometimes say stupid things, but most of the time just literally didn't acknowledge that I was there. And I was like, wait, what?
Right.
Yeah.
So weird.
So weird. But
I know.
people just
They
apparently
don't
don't
know
know how to handle
It's really strange.
life transitions. But
Yeah, I guess that's it.
okay, so is there anything that you have grieved or missed at all?
No.
Okay. Okay,
No.
that was very fast.
No.
Okay,
No.
just checking.
No, because if you can't find things in your life, then you need to find some new hobbies, right? Like, there's enough to do. Like, whether it be cleaning out closets or volunteering or, spending more time with parents or whatever that might be.
Yes.
And I mean, the days go real, real fast. I can't believe how fast the days go.
So let's talk about your daily structure.
Yeah, I don't have one. And I like it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
You shared with me, I think last week, that you were working into a somewhat of a routine.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think I said that. It's not happening.
Okay.
I get up whenever.
About that.
Yeah, I don't. What gets me out of bed in the morning? The sun. I don't know. Could be early, could be late. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's consistent that once I get up, I go get coffee,
Very
and then I
helpful.
look at email and, read the news. And, I mean, I do that every morning.
Okay.
Yes, that's consistent.
Okay.
And then after that, it could be just about anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also did mention you might be cooking a little bit more.
I actually have been cooking a little bit more and enjoying that. I will say that's been a surprise.
Okay.
Because I think it's a grind after you work all day and you come home, especially if you haven't thought about what you're cooking or you haven't prepared or you haven't already done shopping, right? There's nothing worse than walking in the house and everybody's like, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? And we don't have a lot of people at home right now, but it's just, I hated that.
More.
I did not want to make dinner. And I have made some new things. Last night I was like, I don't know what I'm going to make. I'm going to run to Trader Joe's. I'll be right back. And I went and bought something and then came home and cooked it. And I didn't even care. Like, I mean, not in a bad way. I wasn't angry.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe I used to be.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good transition. Let's talk about how has this changed your relationship with your husband? Because he's still working right now.
He is still working right now and has transitioned to mostly at home. So I think he would probably say I've been more of a disruption to his life because he was at home before some of the time.
Yeah.
And I was usually at the office. So I think the only difference is that he sort of got used to just sort of having the house all by himself when he was home. And so we're just trying to figure out if he has a meeting, if he needs to go to the office, or if he's doing that from the living room. And if I have to be quiet, which I'm not a big fan of. So we're figuring that out. But if that's the worst thing,
yeah,
we're doing all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your retirement, this is really more like a question about your husband, but is your retirement making him feel even more so like he wants to?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he would like to be retired, but he's planning on going part-time next month, so 20 hours a week. But I think, yeah, seeing me not have a schedule,
yeah,
because he's still trying to fit in his workouts and how he's going to get that in, and right, like,
yes,
so I think definitely he probably sees that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, we'll just try the part-time. Let's see what happens. And,
sure,
go from there. So
okay.
we'll see. Stay tuned.
And I know you guys have quite a bit of travel planned.
Yeah.
So, and not that you guys didn't travel previously, but is that something that you feel like you will do more of?
I hope so. I definitely think we will, because that was really one of the considerations of, during those 12 hours, should I retire or not? But knowing that he has the flexibility to work from wherever,
Yes.
like, we love to go places for weeks on end. So we could hypothetically go somewhere and he could work from there and I could, go along and we could make it a vacation / working, whatever. And had I not retired, I would have not been able to do that because I didn't have that kind of flexibility. Like, it was something I had to be in office for. So
Yes.
I think, that definitely was one of the considerations. But yeah, I'd like to travel somewhere every month. I need to have a monthly something.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, big, huge trips, but yeah, we need to have something every month. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So in fact, you are leaving on vacation tomorrow.
I am, tomorrow morning.
Yes.
We're going up to northern Michigan, up by Traverse City, to an area that we love up there. And although it's not going to get out of the 60s
Okay.
for the next week
Yeah.
while we're there. And that's okay.
Be a bit of a shift from
It'll
here.
be a
but-
little bit of a shift.
Yeah.
But no, we just love it. There's great bike trails up there and some good breweries and some good farm to table. And it's just, but it's also kind of chill. It has definitely a laid back vibe. So super excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have one other bigger trip planned.
We do. Yeah, headed to Portugal. My husband Rob turned 60 this year, so it was his choice to wherever he wanted to go for his birthday, and he chose Portugal. So we'll be headed there and are in the midst of doing a lot of planning on that. So that's maybe what I've been spending some time on,
Okay.
is a lot of planning for that trip.
Yeah, which is also a strength of yours.
I love it.
Yeah, similar. I didn't mention it earlier, but one of Ellen's other strengths is her room design skills. And so
Love it.
she already in the barn today was taking some pictures and using AI to help us figure out some of the space here that we're working with.
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to sell those skills.
Oh,
but
no.
You are going to offer them up to
For free.
Yes, for free
To my friends and family.
Yes.
Yeah, because I just love it. I just, I do watch a lot of videos and lean into that in a big way. If I had my life to do over again, I would probably go that route for a career. But
Yeah.
I don't want a second career and I don't want a job. So there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you get to do it for fun.
Yes. Fun.
Yes. Okay, back to a few questions based on, things that might be valuable for people who are thinking about retirement. So what advice would you give to someone who is within a year of retirement?
Yeah, I think and I don't have an answer about what this should look like for everyone, but I think one of the best things we did was to work with a financial advisor. So I think if you don't have a financial advisor, that's probably something I would really recommend. There are some people that can really do it on their own. That's not a strength. That's not my strength.
Yep.
And I think also just Rob was paying attention and watching it, but not as far as choosing stocks and all that. So I think it was really great to have somebody we trust, which we did interview different ones until we found somebody we liked. And then just having him say, when we went to our last appointment, when Rob said, I want to go part-time, and we could combine that into, because of some loss in the family, right?
Yeah.
That made him reevaluate some things in his life, so we could talk about that. But we went in for the purpose of saying, he said, I want to go part-time. And so we had that conversation, and our financial advisor said, the numbers work. And just having a professional tell us that, I think made us both feel, I don't know that we would have been able to pull the trigger had we not had that professional. So I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, I think that is so true. And I know for myself, I've experienced that same thing.
Yeah.
And just having that second opinion
Yeah.
to give you that guidance. So yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah. That's the big one for me, I think, that just sit down. You gotta talk about it. You gotta figure out where you're at and how close you are and what this looks like. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you had to finish this sentence, what nobody tells you about retirement is, how would you finish that sentence?
How great it is. Twofold. Like I could go either good or bad, right? The first is just the ability to figure out what I want every day to look like. Being able to have an intentional day and being able to, or not, right?
Yep.
If I just want to read. But I think that has just been, that's what I've always wanted. It's the freedom, right?
Yep.
It's the
Freedom.
being able to set your own calendar, not trying to stretch out how many vacation days I have and can I make these trips work. And so that to me is just a gift. And as we all know, we don't know how long we're on this earth, so you should enjoy the time you have. And that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know this is a relatively new thing for you. You're only a month in. So one of the things that I would love to do is invite you back in maybe
Yes.
like 6 months or a year or maybe even after that just to check in, because I'm guessing this journey is going to be
Oh, yeah.
an eventful one.
I think it should be, right? Like it should be something that ebbs and flows and I'll get involved in things and I might leave things or I don't know. So I'm excited for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, anything else that you want to share with our followers today that we didn't talk about that might be helpful for them?
There's some great websites out there for some people that are thinking of retirement, like that just make you think about some things.
Okay.
So I can share that with you.
Yeah.
They're not mine, but
Yeah.
I think that really made me think about some things, just that I hadn't thought about.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, always happy to share those kind of resources with our followers. So, well, thank you so much for coming today and sharing a little bit about where you're at in your retirement journey and this big life transition that you're going
Yes.
through.
It's a good life transition.
Yes.
Some of the transitions are not always good.
This
This
is true.
one's good.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful time on your vacation.
Thank you.
Vacation number 1.
Vacation number 1.
And we will definitely check back with you in a few months and
Sounds
see
great.
how things are going.
All right.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.